And move on right now. This is the Music Network in Nubia's content creators platform or room, whatever you want to call it. Right now, we're going to move on to the podcast. So, H. Lee, you have a great guest in the room. We're going to move on to Ella to introduce the guest, and then we're going to move on to the podcast. So, over to the team.
Hello, this is Ella Miss, the creative director of the Networking No Ego social media team. Thank you for joining us on the podcast today. Our wonderful third podcast with H. Lee, that's me, who will interview Kush Nubia. Kush hosts Music and NFTs 101. Learn to fund your career through tech in this very room every other Sunday. He is also a producer and DJ specializing in Afrobeats and Afro House. Kush believes work is what we do to survive, but when a person works in a field they love, that person will not work a day in their life. For him, when it comes to the arts and being creative, the line between work and endeavors of love are blurred. There may be a little time for question and answer afterwards, so save your questions, relax, and enjoy the podcast.
Ella, thank you. Thank you for that intro. And as everyone heard, Kush, what's going on? Okay. That much.
Did he just duck out?
Yeah. Poof pow.
Oh, no, he's here. What's up, brother?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Kush.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
No doubt. What's going on? So, listen, let's jump right in. Take me to the beginning, because I know myself coming across you in the your profile and stuff a while ago. Afro beats, things of that nature, and so I wanna hear the journey from Afro beats and such to NFTs and such. So just quickly take us to the beginning for Kush.
I think everything most recent push on arts for me was getting into DJing back in 2008. I did music and arts before that, but I think that's when things started to get more focused. I started DJing in Afrobeat. That's like the older school Afro sounds like Fela Kuti and stuff like that. So from there, I started DJing and then attracting some of the African community in my city, in my age group, and they started explaining to me that the music I was playing was more their parents' music, and I have to kind of bring some more youth into my sound. So then I started finding some other sounds coming out of South Africa. There was a website at the time called Aphrodisia, and on this site you could find. You could dig into a lot of different sounds and kind of come up with your own sound. So that kind of took me back further into the Afro beats. You could opened up with the Afro house and Kwaito and Azonto. All these kind of sounds kind of led up to where we are today with the Afro beat sounds that you're hearing now.
Okay, so take me. Where were you DJing at? Like, where was this when this was happening? Where was this occurring at?
Oh, I started putting on my own events in Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
So that's where I started. I hired a DJ at the first event, and my strategy was that I was going to practice DJing, start the events, and then once I got to a point where I felt comfortable, I would get out and DJ. But it kind of got thrown in because the DJ the first night kind of got inebriated, so I had to DJ, and it turned out that people liked it. I felt I could do it, and then it kind of those like by accident situations that give you encouragement to go forward. It was one of those type of things. So then I just went full into it. I was just before I was DJing, I was playing percussion in a band. So then I started doing percussion, which is conga, and DJing at the same time, kind of thing.
So now, where originally from?
I'm born in Canada, but my background is Jamaican.
Okay, gotcha. So you were born in Toronto or where?
I was born in a place called Godrich.
Gotcha. How is that in terms of your musical, I guess, influence, or did it play a part in your musical influence? I guess I should ask.
Well, I would say my parents would be most of my music influence. My dad, most especially, he was an avid music collector. Played a lot of different music, so I would say that I was kind of raised up on like reggae music,
Gotcha.
Caribbean sounds of music, calypso, soca, reggae, dub, a lot of that, and then of course like Motown sounds.
Gotcha. So now, when you were DJing, like what age range would you when you started getting into your DJing and doing that?
What age?
Yeah.
Oh, I was in my 30s.
Okay.
So it's later in life.
Right. So now you're DJing and you're doing your thing, and so where does the NFTs, like, because I know there's a span in between. So what puts you on that path towards, explain that.
Yeah. So basically, as I was saying before, when I was kind of coming up, I was always into art. I drew as a kid and stuff like that, and I took art all the way through school. I took music, learned music at that same time in elementary school. I was playing guitar and then started playing like trombone in school. So eventually, it just all of this started coming together as a DJ. I started to be able to put my interest in music and art together because I had to make the flyers. And then once I started getting further into production, I had to make the cover art. So then it was kind of bringing back both of those passions for myself as far as art, visual art, and music. And then NFTs was just like a natural step to be able to combine everything together.
Gotcha. So please, for me, and I know I'm not the only one. Maybe I'm the only one out here that's going to say it out loud. But break it down for me about NFTs, because I still I know what people have said, but I'm still trying to really wrap my brain around it. I know non-fungible. See, I'm messing up because I can't think of the T now. Non-fungible.
Yeah, non-fungible token.
Token.
Yeah.
Help me to understand the concept first of the NFT, and then I got some others after that.
Yeah. So the NFT, the non-fungible, the token aspect is basically it's like a receipt showing authentic ownership, basically. So that's what's actually sitting on the blockchain. The other content is kind of sit on a file server. Um, so when you buy something, it's the actual token that sits on the blockchain to say that you're the actual owner of this piece of ID or a piece of content, and that's what gets moved around. So tokens are just like money, like you would have like you used to get those tokens to play video games. It's the same kind of idea. There's a token attached to your piece of content, and that's what's actually earning in value. So as you become more popular, it's like your token, your social currency becomes more popular. So you'll be able to, sell your things for more.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. So now let me ask you, because now, being the rise of the NFTs and such, and then you hear a lot of people say, okay, I'll do it too. Because, let's say, Taylor Swift or Nicki Minaj or somebody like that is putting their stuff and doing NFTs and stuff. How does that, can the up and coming independent artist with not a large or without a large fan base or anything like that, can an NFT be advantageous, or is it going to make no difference, or how is
I
it?
definitely think it'd be advantageous. For a few different reasons, you could create something that someone might just like right off the top and purchase it. You could take the time to build your audience through Discord and Twitter, like you would on your normal music journey. And then you can use this app as well, Clubhouse. So there's some different ways that you can kind of build your community. Um, Getting into collectives, for example, and then working in where it's like strength in numbers. And then you can do like advertising and then being able to get into the right rooms to create those relationships, just like you would on Clubhouse. Doing this on Twitter to help generate eyes on your work and the possible sales.
Gotcha. How have you, I guess, in relation to you with your DJing and stuff like that, how have you specifically, if I can ask, been able to use NFT to your advantage?
Definitely making some more connections in the community because it's a pretty tight knit community.
Mm-hmm.
So and then making some collaborations and just being able to exercise the technology and get familiar with it and how to use it and be able to kind of fortify some future strategies. At this point in my journey, that's where I'm at. In this room, we did the collaboration with Randy and Danielle, and we did an NFT music collab, and we were able to drop that out of this room. And we sold a couple of them, but it's the process of learning to present the music. So over the last couple of weeks, I'm finding these different places where I can actually present the work on Twitter. Like, for example, NFT Radio, that's on Twitter, for example. They focus on NFT music.
Now, explain that real quick. NFT music.
Yeah, so it's basically just people going direct to the client, like direct to the consumer versus going through a middle person like a streaming service. So it's basically allowing people to get collectibles and purchase data directly, and then being able to play it off the blockchain, off their wallets or something like that, or off a radio feature that's on some of these marketplaces.
Okay.
So I was going to say some of the things that are coming down the pipe is streaming on the blockchain. There's people working on that, so they're just figuring out how to do it, and they're looking to make sure that the artist gets a bigger share than what these current DSPs are playing.
Right. Let me ask you, when was the first time that you did an NFT?
It was this year.
This year. And explain, like, what did you do?
Oh, so basically, I just made a piece of art. It was still like a JPEG. I just wanted to kind of test the process. It was again in this room where we used to hold the not used to, when we used to hold the older version of the NFT room. So we did onboarding, went on to the Tezos, kind of the same process I've been doing, and then I just minted the piece of work to see how it would sell. I didn't really post it for very much, but it sold out. It all sold out the first day, so that definitely got you amped to want to do more. But it's difficult to have everything sell out. It's really, I don't know, shouldn't really be your motive. It's more of a slow burn, is what I'm seeing.
Gotcha. So now, now you got me really curious here. When you say it's sold out, so I mean, and again, I'm sorry, but if you have to break it down to me like I'm 3, I'm okay with it. Okay,
that's cool.
That's my best understanding. But now, when you say sold out, so now in your piece, you did a piece of art. So that means when you say piece of art, was it like a drawing? Was it some music?
Yeah. So it was a drawing. Yeah, it was basically a digital piece of art. I manipulated some digital images and I put it up. I basically had some skeletons with that looked like their heads were like cassette tapes.
Okay.
And it was still though there was no motion to it. So I just put that up as a JPEG. I just put it up to see just to go through the process of minting, to see step by step, how was it actually done to mint an NFT. So I did that. I didn't really put up for very much dollars, so people bought it, and that was cool. And then I went and made it. So then I started to make some other ones. I've got some other ones. If you ever to look at my IG, there's some ones I have pending, but I haven't put some 3D ones yet to drop because I'm still kind of working out the rewards program that I want to have for people who purchase my NFTs.
Right. So hold on, let me stop you there. And again, I want for understanding. And so, and I'm not going to get, I don't want you to get into specifics of what you sold for, whatever. But just to get an idea, let's say, was it like a $5, around the $5 mark, more?
No. It was only it was around the $3 mark.
Okay, so a $3 mark, right? And you sell it, and so now when you say it's sold out,
yeah,
explain how it sells out, because my thinking is, you go to a store, or you want to get some Jordans, whatever, they're sold out. They have no more in stock at that moment. You have to wait for it to be ordered. They have to get a new shipment or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So you did how is it sold out?
So in the NFT, it's the opposite. It's about the rarability and the collectability. So if I don't know, when you're a kid, you probably used to collect stuff, and it was if you collect a card that was rare, it would be more valuable, like a sports card or something like that, or a record. If you collected a record or a record version that wasn't very popular, or it was a rare version, it would be more expensive. So that's the same kind of idea with NFTs. So you make a limited edition, and then you sell that out, and then you don't make it again. That's it.
So, like the equivalent, like with your drawing, so you had like about what, like they were able to purchase like what, like about 20 or something, like when you said like.
Yeah, so when I first did it, I only minted 10, and people came and bought all 10. So it was only $3, that $3 photo. People came and bought all 10 of them, right? Um, and that's just me just trying to understand the process. So I didn't. I wanted to make sure they sold. Excuse me. I wanted to make sure they sold and could understand the process.
Gotcha. So you did that. It sold out. Do you go back and you do more, or do you say, okay, I'm moving on from that, like that's done, I'm moving on to something else?
No, because if you do more of what I sold, then those first 10 start losing value.
Ah, okay, gotcha. I see now. Okay. It's right because it's a very limited amount. So boom.
Yeah.
Now, how is the? And again, if I sound redundant or please bear with me. But how then does the value increase like down the road? Let's say on those particular drawings that you did. What's going to elevate the value? What's the possibility that what's the possibility of how is it possible for that to be elevated? The value on that.
By doing more work and building strength in your brand.
So in other words, you did the first set of 10. That was your early work, and then you do more. More people like what you did. They buy that. Then they buy some more. You do some more, and so on and so on. And then people have been liking it, and then go back and say, hey, well, you know what? Now the first set that you did is valued more because this was his first.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. It helped me out with this understanding because I really and truly was not getting it, but now you're like the light is like it's coming on.
Yeah. And that's what the artwork piece too, right? Like because I'm kind of bridging the art collectors with music collectors.
Mm-hmm.
You might find if you do a music drop, that might take off right away because it's music, right? People, if it's a hit song, people like it sells out very rapid. It sells out rapid, and then people come back looking for more. And so that's a way that you may even increase even faster, just like in the Web 2 world, if you want to call it that. The way we go through streaming right now, your song hits, it takes off, and then all these things follow kind of after that.
Okay.
I think it would be similar in the NFT world. For example, if you had something that hit, or if you had some popularity, back to your other question, they're about independent artists. If you had some following and popularity, it doesn't take a lot. I know some people who are independent artists. They have decent following. They put a piece out on Ethereum, and then through the bidding process, ended up selling it for 14,000. And that was for one song. And that was for one song.
And this is somebody who this is an independent artist that we don't just doesn't come to mind, don't really know, but they were able to do this. Is that correct?
That's right.
And sell a piece of their music, a song, for $14,000.
That's right.
Wow. Interesting. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time of your time because I'm sure there's got to be people that's going to have questions. I got a couple of more, but because I'm fascinated by this.
It's pretty exciting, man. What's going on?
Well, let me ask you, what does have you done music yet? You said art. You haven't done music. But art is the only thing you've done so far, right?
No, I've done a music with the collab for Randy out of this room and Danielle.
Oh, Randulo?
Yeah, and then I did a separate one, my own, that I dropped as well.
So wait. Let me just get again for that light keep that light going on in my mind. So explain, if you can, exactly what you did with Randy and yourself, what you're referring to. Like, what exactly did you do?
Yeah. So basically, so we did the music. Randy had some pieces, and Danielle had the vocals. So I did some production, put it together to the point that we all agreed that it sounded we wanted to put out. Then we brought Wayne out of the room as well, and he
do the engineering. Wayne up here did the engineering. Okay.
Yeah. And so then through that, we went to the Tia via the art web marketplace. And on there, they have a smart contract that you can set up a collaboration contract. So just like you would do a split sheet, we're able to contract that way, a smart contract on the blockchain, and basically break out the percentages just like we would on a split sheet. So if the item sold, automatically the marketplace would split up that dollar, say it was $1 or whatever, into the percentages that we wanted. So if we sold it for $50 or something, you would break it out to what the percentages were. So everybody that was involved could get something out of the sale of the song or the sale of the NFT, I should say.
And you said something just there when you said smart contract. Can you break that down?
Yeah, the smart contract is basically the rules and operations on what happens when someone purchases your content.
Okay. Okay. So now you put this out, and when you put it out, how that was the when you were saying that with the art, you put it out like it's an online process. Like you put it out.
Yeah, so you notify your following that you got an item coming, just like you would if you had a song. So that
Right.
process is still the same.
Okay.
You register the song just like you would if you're going through a stream. So that part's just the same. You copyright the
Okay.
song just like you would. So that part's the same. Get an ISRC and register it with your IPO. So that part's the same.
Okay.
Then you start doing your presentation to your following, right? Let them know
Okay.
that it's
Right.
coming. So that part's the same. And then when you go to post it, it's like uploading to YouTube. So
Okay.
then, so when it's pretty much that easy. So when you upload the content to the marketplace of your choice, you'll put all the description and everything like that, just like you would if you're going through DistroKid or YouTube or any other distribution process. You put
Right.
all your information in there. You can even put in the ISRC code if you wanted to in the description, but you probably already have it embedded in the MP3 that you're posting anyways, right?
Right.
So you post the MP3, and then after that, it's going to ask you to post the cover art, and it gives you two options in the way that we went. It gives you JPEG and gives you GIF. Using a GIF kind of gives that NFT swag because it's got motion in it, and it's kind of like it prevents someone from just doing a right copy click. They know that with the motion in it, it's the authentic thing. So then you post that. It asks you how many editions you want to make of it. So you either make a 1 of 1 or 10 or 50, 1,000, how many copies you want to make. And then I will ask you to put the amount of royalties someone gets or that you get when you resell it, if someone was to resell it. And then you mint it. And so that's putting the item putting the amount of editions that you made up on to the blockchain. And then the next step for that is to set it for sale in the marketplace. So there's two steps. And then once you set it for sale, it's kind of like putting in an escrow. So you no longer have ownership over them once they're into the marketplace for sale, kind of sitting there. And then people can buy them. And then once they buy them, then the money sent directly to your wallet.
So there's a site, then I guess just like you said with the music, and you have distribution CD Baby or DistroKid or any of those, or you upload to Spotify, things of that nature. There's an NFT situation going on just like that, correct?
Yeah, there's Animate. Yeah, there's that going on. And they're doing NFTs, and they allow you to also go in and set it into the regular streaming distribution channels as well.
Gotcha.
So there's that one's happening.
Do you have to? Is it? Do they charge you a fee and take a percentage? And
Yeah, I believe so. I've not gone that route. I've gone more just the direct route. So if I'm gonna do something for stream, I'll put it in streams, and then I'm gonna use the standard marketplaces to sell my music. I haven't gone on the anime pathway yet.
Gotcha. So in the case like with the music, now here's another thing I'm wondering. With the music, then what about do you get into that that realm, if you will, about I'm saying rights and stuff like that. I mean, your music, your art, of course, you should already have things copywritten and protected and stuff like that. But I mean, is there beyond that? Is there any precautions that one needs to think about, have in place, or whatever when it comes to having your music in the NFT world or anything like that?
Yeah, I think you put in the description that the music isn't for reuse
Mm,
or license. You put that in the description. But
gotcha.
as an NFT sale, if you're giving the rights, you'd have to put that in the description that this is actually you're giving the rights away or you're not giving the rights away. It's you just kind of put that in the description. And one of the things that I liked about Object, I recently had Rusty make an account over there, is because they have those kind of contracts, those licenses on their site that you can leverage. So you can have it where it's um, there's no licensing. They just buy the item and it's theirs as a collectible, and they can enjoy it and play it and everything like that. Or you can make a license where they can make a derivative. So then that allows them to have some flexibility with the piece of content.
Gotcha. What's coming down the pipe for Kush in terms of the NFT world and such? Like, what's will it be more with the music,
Yeah.
drawing?
Yeah. So join the collective DJs, Digital Army. They have it's really for independent artists, kind of a collective. So we got an event coming up next Saturday here on Clubhouse. So the flyer will be posted soon for that. Other than that, I'll be digging more into doing some more what I'm calling it glitch photography, digital collage, and I'll be putting music with that. And then other than that, I'll be just looking to do music for this room. With hopefully to put some more submissions to the cookout projects and hopefully get some more placements with artists in my city.
Nice. I got one. Well, let me ask you. As far as the music going into the NFTs and stuff like that, is there something? And I know you just said with that, but I mean, like, is there no better yet for the up and coming artists? What is your takeaway, or that you would leave with, I should say, with up and coming artists regarding NFTs? And I know you touched on it before. Is this something where you would say definitely get into NFTs? Like, what's your take on that?
I would say definitely get into it and also look at where you can leverage collaborations, just like you would in the music world, to leverage to leverage getting out there and getting eyes on your work and getting ears on your music. There's a lot of photographers and a lot of digital artists who are looking for musicians and music people to collaborate with to add value to their work. I was recently in a showroom on Twitter recently promoting my work, and then I was telling who I was, and then showed them the music piece, and photographers wanted to say, "Oh, I would be interested in putting some of your music with my work," because it gives them inspiration as well, right? So, and you kind of move through different channels with different artists to help build up your brand. So I definitely think it's something to get into for sure.
Gotcha. And one last thing, for that same independent artist, it's not to think that just because you just automatically do it, that people are just going to buy it, right? I think the key takeaway, what you said before, was that you have to have your relations, you have to put in the work still, correct?
Yeah, making the NFT is the easy part. The selling is the part where it's you got to do that legwork.
Gotcha. Hence, where you come into a room like this and you learn how to get your social media game up, correct?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Learn how to use that content, put it together, because all those things are going to be all the things you mentioned before about tags and commenting on your posts and all that. All that stuff is needed when you post your NFT work.
Gotcha. Hey, Kush, one last thing I wanted to ask you myself. And I've been wanting to ask you for a long time. How'd you come up with the name Kush? Is this from Kush, like Roxanne, heading into Zaza land? Or how'd you come up with Kush Nubia?
Well, I kind of got the name from my uncle, and it is representing the nation of Kush Nubia, as in like the ancient nation.
Okay.
But yeah, But I mean, I'm okay with I'm okay with the other flip. I'm okay with the Zaza flip though.
All right, cool. Well, listen, I'm gonna leave it on that note because there's more I can answer. I want to, I guess let others have their questions as well. So, Will, turn it over to you, man.
All right, so thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. Kush, thank you very much for being the third guest here on our podcast. I really appreciate it. Just to reset the room really quick, this is the Music Network in No Egos Content Creators Room. We've just finished the interview with Kush on the Music Network in No Egos podcast. H. Lee, great job as always, my friend. I really appreciate it. I got a question for Kush actually before I pass it on to open the floor to questions. You mentioned there the ancient Kush Nubia. Could you break that down for me, please?
The ancient Kush, the nation of Kush, which was in eastern part of Africa, which is now the Sudan, was connected to the Egypt Empire, and so it was struggles with this nation and Egypt with along the Nile. So that's where I got the name from, the West Bank.
All right, cool. Yeah, I was just curious. I hadn't heard that before, so I wanted to know the story behind that. Thank you very much. So, does anyone have any questions for Kush regarding the interview or anything about NFTs, or wants to pick his brain about NFTs? He's got a wealth of knowledge. He does his own room every other Sunday. Once you've done through the questions, I might get Kush to do the quick walkthrough for the Cookai app you were doing the other week.
Yes, yeah, Kukai Wallet and TI Marketplace.
Excellent. So once we get through the questions and answers, I might get you to do a quick walkthrough for that for our listeners on Spotify, so they can walk through at the end when they replay this. Okay, cool. So I'll open the floor up for questions. Anybody got questions for Kush about NFTs?
Yeah, I'll take one. Really excellent information, Kush. Always appreciate listening to you speak. I am not an expert on NFTs, but from what I understand, the brand is the single most important thing for artists to understand in order to leverage it into that space. And that's generally been the advice I've been kind of taken and given at this point, as far as talking with other creators in my network about the value of at least understanding how this stuff works, and really, but still focusing on building the brand so that with that built up fan base, with that direct connection outside of the business, even as an independent, that is the real focus, and that is how you can leverage that into the space, as opposed to the logistics themselves are just kind of what they are.
Yeah, it's definitely brand building, leveraging your brand in the space, and that's why I was saying, like, the working with other artists, because you get the cross pollination and stuff like that to your brand.
Cool. Thank you for the insight.
All right, cool. So, is there any more questions for Kush on NFTs while we're here? Anybody? No, that's it.
I wanted to know, you mentioned an event that was happening this week.
Yeah, so I'm part of a digital army. You can find them here on Clubhouse, also on Twitter and Discord. It's basically a collective of independent artists basically coming together and moving forward on this NFT front, making independent marketplace for creatives, and we were putting on, and in the roadmap is events to generate awareness for this movement. So on the weekend there'll be a room here on Saturday in Clubhouse, and it'll be also streamed over to Crypto Voxels, and the space is called DJ Sandbox if you use Crypto Voxels. And there'll be a bunch of DJs there from around the world, DJing from the UK, the US, here in Canada, and El Salvador, I believe, is the other place. But yeah, all over. There's about 8 of us, I think, at this point. And so from there, there'll be other events coming in. So just if anyone's interested, just check it out. It's called Digital Army, and it's definitely will be a place if you're looking to, collaborate with other artists. It might be something for you to check out.
Make sure you send me the flyer for that, Kush, and I'll post it for you, bro. Okay, is there any more questions for Kush on NFT right now? Any at all?
I have one quick one, and I'm happy to help you advertise it on any of my things, and I'll make it known. I'll do a good job. But anyways, I was always under the impression that you had to like pay a fee into this NFT world to display your whatever it is. Is that not true?
No, you
Because
do.
I heard you say you put it on YouTube, and that's how you started.
No. So what I was saying was the process is similar to YouTube in the way you post content to YouTube. It's a similar process that you use to post content to the NFT marketplaces. So when you come to the point that you want to upload your content, say you were doing a song, for example, you'd have your MP3 with that you've gone through all the necessary steps to get it ready for public listening. So you'd post that MP3, and the next thing the marketplace would ask you is to post a cover art that would go with it. It gives you two options, either JPEG or a GIF file. And GIF file I would recommend because it's like got motions in and stuff like that, and people can't just do a right click copy and create a JPEG of that artwork. People would know it's not the legitimate stuff because you have a GIF which is moving. It adds some security and authenticity.
Right.
That's what I do. Yeah. And then once you do that, it'll ask you how many editions of the actual content you want to make. So how many editions of the song, whether it's 1 or 10, 20,000, however you want to make it. Then you save that, and then that gets put onto the blockchain. And then the next step after that is putting sale. So that step of putting on the blockchain costs a fee. It's minimal. And then putting it to the marketplace costs a fee, but that's next to nothing. It's like, I think it's the minting process is 0.08 TES, and 1 TES is $3. So it's change.
No, thank you so much. I had such a misunderstanding.
Well, it's not that you have a misunderstanding. It's just that you probably heard that there's gas fees, is what we're talking about.
I was just
And
told it was like thousands of dollars to join this special club, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks.
oh well, especially they do have those social clubs. Those things do exist, and they do cost money to join. Yeah, like for example, what's it called? Board Apes Yacht Club. Those NFTs to join that social club are very expensive now because of the holders and the kind of the social currency that's been attached to those NFTs has increased the value a lot. So yeah, for that something like that, you would have to pay a lot of money to be involved in. But to actually just mint your work is not that expensive. And back to the point of what I was going to say about the gas fees, if you're using Ethereum, then yes, Ethereum has noted high gas fees, and this is why a lot of us are moving to Tezos. A lot of the music people who are doing music on NFT music are doing it on Tezos. Yeah, no problem.
All right, cool. Well, is there any more questions for Kush on NFTs right now while we're still here? Nope. Go once, going twice. All right, perfect. So, Kush, if you could give us a quick, brief walkthrough for the apps that you spoke about in your room the other day, and then we'll call the interview there. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, cool. So the first thing you want to do, this is kind of will be on onboarding these steps. So they kind of onboard you onto the marketplace. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to use a Kukai wallet. Can I put the links at the top row, or?
Yeah, of course you can, bro.
Okay. Just go ahead and do that. So this is the wallet that I've been using to onboard people to the marketplace. So if you click on that link, it'll take you to the website where you can create a wallet. I would say if you have a brand, use your brand email, like if you have your brand at gmail.com, because that's what will show up in the transactions as the name. And then you can have those transactions as your company transaction when you go for taxes for your company, LLC, in the future. So once you sign up to that, it'll give you some key phrases, and you have to write those down and keep them in a safe place. And then where you'd want to go after that is done, you'd have to go to the TIA website, and I'll put that at the top. Once you go to this marketplace I put at the top, this is a Tezos marketplace, and the Kukai wallet is a Tezos wallet. So the first thing you do is when you go to the TIA website, you'll see at the top right, you'll see where it says sync, and you'll see 3 lines. You hit the sync, and it will pop up a window where it'll ask you to sync your wallet to the marketplace. In the pop-up window, you'll see icons of different wallets. You'll see the Kukai wallet icon there, the Blue Square wallet. You just click that one, and it'll sync your newly created wallet to the website. And that's pretty much how you're now connected to the website. So the next thing is how to actually put money into your wallet so that you can begin minting or purchasing NFTs. So there's 2 ways to do it. The first way is if you go back to your Kukai wallet, you'll see on the left-hand side which says balances, and then you'll see a circle with a plus sign in there. You hit the plus sign, and you'll be able to start adding money. It'll take you through to MoonPay. It'll take you to the MoonPay site when you click that plus button. You have to create a MoonPay account. MoonPay will allow you to use your Visa or debit card to fund your Kukai wallet. So once you create your MoonPay account, you can go through the process of transferring money into there through your Visa or debit. And then through that process, it'll exchange the money from your US dollars into Tezos. So that's the first way. Once the money's in the wallet, you'll see the money in the wallet that you've entered, and then from there you're able to start minting or purchasing NFTs. The second way to send money into your wallet is having an account on a crypto exchange. So something like Binance or Coinbase. Once you go through the necessary get to know your customer process on those sites, you can fund your wallet, and then you can fund your wallet through your debit and Visa same way, or through bank transfer, however it is that you're going to do it. And then once that money's there, you can convert your money into Tezos. And then once you've converted a certain amount of money that you want into Tezos, you can then transfer it from your exchange wallet into your Kukai wallet. And then you'll be ready to go again there from that point to start minting or purchasing NFTs. That's pretty much the onboarding process. It's pretty straightforward. The recording is there, so you'll be able to run it back and listen. But yeah, it's pretty much those are the steps.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Kush. Really appreciate your time, and thank you very much for coming on to the podcast, my bro.
Oh, no, thanks for having me, man.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. So I'm going to wrap up the interview as it is here. Big shout out to our sponsors, CodeUp Directory. Check out codeupdirectory.com. The information for the discount is in my bio. We're going to open up the floor now for questions about content. If there's anything about content creation to help pushing your brand or your music out there using content, feel free to ask any questions. If not, we shall close up the room. Nope, everybody quiet? All right, we're going to do what happens when we get quiet. Again, Kush, thanks very much for coming on. H. Lee, great job with the podcast. We will catch everybody in the morning at the Music Networking No Egos morning show, the networking room. And Jackie's not here, so I'm not going to do a big countdown. I'm just going to close up. Again, thank you very much for being here, guys. 3, 2, 1. Good night, everybody.